The secret to being a confident coach is being able to trust in yourself to make the right decisions for your business. It's no longer operating from fears or insecurities. And in this video, I'm going to teach you how to always know what to do in your business. Because most coaches are overwhelmed. They're overwhelmed and they are tired of listening to other people's advice, listening to experts who promise them the world if they just follow my strategy and work really hard. But what happens is they end up burnt out and even more confused on the right path forward for their business. So today I want to talk about how to step into your own confidence, how to take your power back, how to always know what to do so that you're no longer overwhelmed or stuck. And if you're currently in that place where you're like, oh my gosh, like this person says this, right? Like how many times have you seen a video where it's like, if you just use this hook, your account will blow up. If you just follow my formula, you'll reach $20 billion. It's like, we've all seen those posts and heard those stories. And honestly, I've tried a lot. I have invested over $100,000 in my business working with experts, branding, ad strategists over the years, right? I've been a coach for 10 years now. So I've tried a lot of different things. And honestly, trying all of those things left me on the floor of the Dallas airport in so much pain. I'd done everything right. I picked the niche, I hired the team, I worked on myself, I ate healthy, I exercised, right? I invested in ads, I invested in events, right? Continuing my learning. And yet behind the scenes, my numbers were dropping. And I had this pain in my hip that just wouldn't go away. And what happened was I ended up on the floor of the Dallas airport in so much pain, unable to walk. And at that point, I started to realize maybe there's another way. Maybe there's something else going on. If I had done everything right, if I had followed all of the advice and I still am not where I want to be with my business, with my health, because I outsourced a lot for my health too, going to see all the experts, trying all of the different things. And I still wasn't getting the results I wanted. I thought, maybe there's something here that I'm missing. Maybe the answers I was searching for aren't in another expert, but they're actually within myself. So I started to notice how often throughout my day I was going outside of myself for advice. So I would notice that I would ask my husband, Peter, hey, what do you think about this idea? Or I would ask my coach, how should I handle this client situation? Or even I would ask my coach, how should I handle my schedule, right? It's my schedule, but I was asking my coach. And this is how I started taking my power back. The first thing that I did, and this is what I recommend if you want to step into your confidence, if you want to start knowing what is right for you, what's going to get you the best results, I want to introduce you to 30 days of authentic flow. 30-day experiment for you to reclaim your power and come back to yourself, okay? This is liberating, this is freeing, and this is gonna boost your confidence so much. So the first thing is I want you to start paying attention to how often you go outside of yourself for advice, like I was talking about with myself. So for you, maybe you do it similarly to how I was doing it with your partner. How often do you ask them, hey, do you think this business idea is good? Do you think this is a good idea for a post, right? How often do you do that? Or maybe you go to your coach for what should I be offering, or how should I be posting, or how should I be showing up, right? I want you to start, instead of going outside of yourself, I want you to go to yourself. Now, I'm not saying that you can not ask for advice or opinions or things like that, but I want the first person that you go to be yourself, right? To be your higher self. So that's the first thing, because our souls have the best plan for us. Logic, it's very appealing. Our mind likes it. It's like, ooh, this makes sense, but our minds, they just repeat the past. They just repeat like what they know. But if you're trying to go somewhere you've never been before, if you're trying to experience growth in your business, in your life, abundance, balance, harmony, freedom, if you're trying to experience those things that you've never had, you need to go to a higher power. You need to go to your soul. And essentially, our higher self is our direct connection to our soul. The soul has the map, the plan, it knows what it's doing. It has the path that is greater than the path that the mind can conceive, right? So when we connect to our higher self, we get that information from our soul, right? And so we have to start going within. We have to start building that connection. And that's what this is all about. So one, instead of going outside of yourself for advice, hey, what do you think of this post? Hey, can you help me with this? Or, hey, what should I do about my schedule? Or even, hey, what should we have for dinner? Well, what do you want to have for dinner, right? Like checking in with that. Oh, is anything coming through? And you have to create a little bit of space, because a lot of times we're like this and this and this and quick and quick and quick. And it's like, we need to just create some space to go within, to hear. And when I was laying on the floor of the Dallas airport, I realized I had not been giving myself any space. So of course I was off track. Of course I was looking to everybody outside of myself because I had lost that connection to myself. We all have that strong connection to our higher self, to our soul, but we get so busy in our day-to-day lives. We get so used to consuming and thinking that other people know what's better for us than we do. And what's really cool is I started out in the health and wellness space, and as a health coach, we realized like, oh, doctors are great, but maybe they don't have all of the answers for ourselves, right? And so a lot of coaches in my community are going to themselves, checking in, how does this feel in my body with health? And I cannot wait till coaches start doing this for their businesses, because it's going to be so freeing. We're going to see so much more uniqueness in the coaching space, right? Just so much diversity, so much authenticity, and I literally cannot wait. So that is the first thing, is really I started going within myself and asking myself first. And I recommend you do this for 30 days. This is just part of 30 days of authentic flow. So going to yourself first for the answers. Another way that our souls speak to us is through excitement, things that are exciting to us. I don't know about you, but maybe you've heard the saying of eat the frog, do like the most challenging, hardest thing in your business first. And I used to do that. I was like, I don't really want to do a video, or I don't really want to, write this email or whatever it was. Like, I don't really want to do that, but I would force myself to do it. And I really have shifted now, and I recommend you give this a try as well, to instead of that, doing what is exciting to me, what lights me up, because that is how our soul communicates to us. It communicates to us through excitement. That is the path for us. And by forcing ourselves, we've been conditioned to turn off that excitement, turn off that joy. I work with a lot of coaches who have a hard time uncovering like what lights them up, right? Because they have dimmed their light so much. They have forced themselves to do things that they don't want to do for so long that now they can't even connect to the part of them that is showing them, hey, this is really what is fun for you. This is what is exciting for you. This is the path for you. So now, instead of doing the thing that is like the hardest and forcing myself, and essentially that is a form of self-hatred, form of judgment, force, right? That's a very masculine way of operating. I've been in the masculine for a long time. For me, I'm all about balance now. I want to be balancing the masculine and the feminine energies, right? So for me, I want my higher self to know that I trust its advice. I like its advice. I want more of it. If you're like, I want my intuition to speak to me more, you have to start listening. Your intuition will tell you when something's true for you, right? You'll hear content online, right? And instantly, if you check in, you can tell if it's true for you or not, right? We all have different truths. What's true for one person might not be true for me, might not be true for you. And so we can check in and see, how does that feel in my body, right? Instantly, when I'm hearing something, I'll be like, oh yeah, that feels really good. That's true for me. Or that does not feel good. That feels so extreme. With social media now, people are creating content that is very polarizing to get reactions, right? To get validation, outside validation. And instantly I can tell, and I'm turned off by it. I'm like, that is not true for me. I don't know if you can relate to that. So that's the first thing, right? We're going to go within first for answers. We're going to follow our excitement. What feels exciting to you, right? So when you get ready to work on your business, check in. What feels exciting? Okay, I feel like making a list. I have a lot of ideas. I feel like making a list. Awesome. I'm going to make my list, and then I'm going to look at my list and I'm going to say, okay, these are all of the opportunities, the possibilities that I could work on. What feels the most exciting to me? And the thing that's really cool about this is sometimes there'll be things on your list that you're like, okay, that feels really exciting. Let me do that. You do that. And by doing that, other things get crossed off. So it's actually giving you less work than if you were like, okay, what's the hardest thing? Let me do that. That's intense. You're out of the flow, right? So you're essentially creating more work for yourself by forcing yourself to do things that aren't aligned because they're taking you off out of the flow state, right? Out of like your course, your path that's perfect for you. And that's the thing with following somebody else's plan is they have found success, right? We got to make sure that people you're following have the same idea of success as you, right? Because you could be following someone else's success plan, leading you to fully booked, overwhelmed, out of balance, not what you want at all. So make sure that your idea of success matches their idea of success. Because for me, I'm not trying to chase fame and fortune. For me, I want balance. I want service. I want community. I want a life that feels exciting to wake up to in the morning, right? That feels relaxed to my nervous system, that's full of love. So making sure that your idea of success matches other people's ideas of success that you're following, getting advice from, but the way that somebody else operates isn't necessarily the way that we should operate. And being really aware of that, because the most successful coaches I know, they're not following someone else's success plan. They're creating their own success plan. So are you creating your own success plan? If not, if you're like, wow, I have been following other people's, then use this 30 days of authentic flow to get back in touch with your success plan. So, okay, we are following our excitement. So that's step 2, following our excitement for 30 days, right? As soon as you feel excited about something, you are doing it, you're going down that path. And there will be a time where it stops becoming exciting, right? I'll be working on videos, I'll be like, this is exciting. And then it will be like, oh, this is feeling heavy and hard. And like, oh man, like, what am I doing here? And that is my guidance from my higher self that this is no longer what I need to be working on. I need to switch to working on something else. So at that time, I'll go for a walk or I'll look at my list. Okay, what feels exciting now? Or I'll just ask my higher self, what do I feel like doing? And sometimes it can be really frustrating to the ego. I remember a few weeks ago, I had a lot of stuff that I wanted to get done and I was so excited to work and I made my latte and I was like, okay, I'm going to work on it. Here we go. And I was like, I opened my computer and I was like, I don't want to work on this. And it's kind of like my higher self and my lower self or my personality are having these conversations together where they're like, hey, I don't feel like working on this. Higher self and lower self's like, but we have a lot to do today, right? And so what I did was I was like, I am following my excitement. And if I am practicing what I preach, like I cannot force myself to work right now because that is out of alignment. And so what I did was I was like, what feels exciting? I was like, oh, watching some YouTube, let's go. And so I turned on YouTube and I watched like 20 minutes. And then guess what? Then I was excited to work on the project, right? So that is a big part of this is following the excitement and staying aligned. And let me know what comes up for you when I say, we're just following our excitement in business because we have been conditioned and programmed certain things, like for me, it's like, oh, I have to work hard. I have to work hard in order to have success. I can't just play and have a joyful life. But then when I say that, I'm like, that is so crazy because that's what I want. I want to play and I want to have a joyful life. So of course I can have that. So a lot of times, and let me know what comes up for you in the comments and I'll do another video on that. But a lot of times what comes up for us when we're trying to connect with our higher path and our higher self and operate this way are things that we need to work on in order to be able to do that, right? So if you're similar to me and, oh, I can't just like have fun and play, I have to work hard. Well, that's a story, right? That's a story that is a limiting belief, that's programming that you have to work through, right? You have to create a new story around it. If it's like, I'm not smart. How could I know what to do in my business? I've never had a business before. I've never been online before. All of these people, they have businesses. They show up. They know what's better for me than I do. Like they're the experts, not me. Well, that's a worthiness issue, right? So we got to work on the self-worth and the self-love. Yeah. Another thing that I notice is getting stuck in masculine models. A lot of coaches get stuck in these things that they think they should be doing. For me, I was stuck a lot in different sales and launch strategies, like Black Friday's coming up. And so I was like, I got to do a Black Friday sale, even though I remember being on vacation in Mexico a few years ago and I just wanted to relax. It was Thanksgiving. Everybody else was relaxing. And yeah, I'm talking to my ad team, talking about like why conversions are so low, like I need new graphics, I need new copy. And I'm like, why am I doing this? I don't want to be doing this, right? Maybe you're stuck in some masculine models of following strategy over intuition, right? Or comparison with other coaches, having to have the most likes or follows, right? Things like that. Strict goal setting. I see a lot of coaches do that where they're like, I need to hit this goal by this amount of time. I found myself a few weeks ago, planning out my month and just kind of like writing down some ideas. And immediately, I was like looking at the income and I was like, okay, this is not right. Flip it around. I was like, okay, what do I really want? I want to connect with my community. I want to help people. I want to be in balance, right? It's like, okay, there we go. Those are the goals. Those are the intentions. Those are what my higher self is bringing through for me. If you want to always know what to do in your business, to trust yourself, this is where it starts. This is day one. So 30 days of authentic flow for more confidence in yourself and your business starts with following your excitement. Starts with going within for answers instead of going outside of yourself. Starts with no longer looking for outside validation that you're on the right track, using your truth filter, right? This is for me, this isn't for me. And taking moments, at least one moment each day to check in and connect with your higher self. Because imagine this, in 30 days, you know exactly what to do in your business. Anytime you're feeling stuck or overwhelmed, you check in and you hear your higher self come through with exactly the next move to make. Your business is fun and balanced. You have peace, but you also have confidence and service and community and clients who love you. That is literally what is possible for you 30 days from now. Give it a try. Let me know in the comments if you are going to implement this in your life. I promise it is life-changing. And if anything is coming up for you in terms of why this won't work or stories, I would love to hear from you in the comments below. And until next time, bye friend.